Duplicating Genji. Duplicating Widowmaker. Duplicating Ana. Nano boost administered. Duplicating Genji. Duplicating Roadhog.
I've been doing this for years. Who the hell are you?
Time to drop the ball.
Adaptive circuits engage.
I aim to devastate.
These turtles come up with the highest tides and it doesn't return to that tide for weeks. The next spring tide is not for a week away. This guy will die out in the hot sun if he's there for another few days. I just need a rest. We're almost there, mate. I'm sorry. We're so close.
Let's dehydrate a watermelon. First, I gotta slice it up. The thinner you make your slices, the faster it'll dehydrate. I like to slice mine in the shape of little pizzas. Watermelon is over 90% water, which is why it's so heavy, making it a poor choice for backpacking. You don't want to be lugging one of these things around in your pack. By removing the moisture, the size and weight will be reduced, and the smaller your food is, the more you can carry when hiking. And I'm a pretty big fan of food, so I like to bring a lot. I'll set my dehydrator at 145 Fahrenheit. It took over 20 hours, but now I have watermelon jerky. You'll know they're done when they're not sticky anymore. They'll have a leathery texture. These 10 pieces weigh 81 grams, and the same 10 pieces weighed 961 grams before dehydrating. And you can see how much they shrink down. There's about half a watermelon in this plastic bag. Also has a very sweet flavor. Tastes just like candy. Let's dehydrate a watermelon.
How much money can you make collecting cups in a football stadium? You see, each cup's worth €3, and when you return them, you get cash. I grabbed a beer and got to work where I found... How much money can you make collecting cups in a football stadium? You see, each cup's worth €3, and when you...
Let's dehydrate a watermelon.
So we're around here, it looks like it's nice and shallow. An easy way to deal with something, right? I'm still not touching the bottom, by the way. It is very cold. So we're around here, it looks like it's nice.
Cupid's arrow was a sea monkey product that was discontinued because it worked a little too well. The idea was that you'd feed it to your sea monkeys to encourage the singletons to start mating. But instead of simply just pairing up, the sea monkeys would get way too excited and just have an orgy instead. Cupid's arrow was...
This lady runs a hot pot restaurant and needed her giant meat slicer sharpened. This thing is heavy and almost took me out right here. Even though I've never sharpened this thing before,
This guy thought it was a smart idea since nobody was grabbing his...
Prepare for battle. Select your hero.
Dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. I see this life like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line. In my face is flashing signs, seek it out and ye shall find. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that old. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told.
Round one. Capture the objective.
Is all I have left.
No holding back. Let's move.
I've attacked.
The objective is now.
You can't hide. Activate.
Let the Kitsune guide you!
Pause it, Crusaders!
Scanning.
Enemy here! Seize the objective! For the punch.
Your concern.
I'm hitting everything today. Face the sunrise! Enemy here!
First round. One. Score. 1-0.
Send my greetings to Asa Sensei.
You can say hi yourself.
I'll protect your friends!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Capture the objective.
Just need one more win. Enemy over here! Securing the objective.
I am restored.
Enemy over here!
Scanning.
I'm taking off! Got one here! Concussive out! Right away!
I'll find them.
Taking off! I see an enemy! I don't see some enemy here!
You can't hide. Oh. I will guard you back.
Thank you. Group up here, the Kitsune is ready. Healing pylon.
Marked by the dragon.
Up and away. Watch here.
Pause it, Crusaders!
Face the sunrise. Let the Kitsune guide you. Dispersing.
You can't.
Rocket barrage incoming. Watch out.
Marked by the dragon.
Push them off the objective.
Forged in the dragon's breath.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
Enemy.
Run.
Scanning.
advertising papers.
So obviously they're all the same, right? But I'll show you some. Pick one. Any one you want. Doesn't matter.
Let's see what happens if we put this into the lightsaber. Woo! And it's gone. What if I shoot the Nerf dart? Not even warm. And that's heat transfer for you. Let's see what happens if we put this.
Connect this air tank to this face mask, and now you have the lung sub mask. It lets you snorkel for as long as you'd like and breathe underwater for up to 10 minutes. The snorkel automatically stops water from getting inside when you submerge, and you can refill the air tank yourself with this hand pump.
Working at Burger King, spitting on you.
Summer. This is how durians are. Harvested, and these guys are professionals in their job because catching these fruits without damaging them using only this sack is everyday life for them. But if you're wondering,
and what's the difference between
summer,
how these goggles will change motor.
Sony today revealed a new car that you can drive with a PS5 controller.
Yes,
son, there's
mosquito dunks. This pond is stagnant. They've had very bad mosquitoes here.
Excuse me, I just need to see if the machine's working.
So why exactly does this elevator not have a door? So why exactly does this elevator not have a door?
Summer.
Here's something you can make in case of an emergency to keep in your pack. I'll take some big chunks of pine sap and put them in this tuna can. Then I'll heat it up a little to melt the pine resin. Just don't get it too hot or it'll burst into flame. Next, I'll be using a cattail seed head. I'll pull the fluff off of it, then stuff it into the can with the melted sap. Mix it all up in there real good. So once this cools down, you can put it into a plastic bag and put it in your backpack till you need it. And there's a few different uses for this. You can use it as an emergency fire starter to help you get a fire going in bad weather conditions. It'll burn hot for a long time, so you can also use it as a cook stove to boil water. And when you're done with it, you can just take your pot and snuff it out. But there's another use for this. I can pull the fluff out of the can and then wrap it around the end of this stick. Now I can light this up and use it as a storm-proof torch. It'll drip hot sap though, so be careful of that. Here's something you can...
This poor little guy's had a rough start at life. He's probably 2 or 3 years old. They say it takes roughly 7 years for them to reach the first pound. It's covered in barnacles. They're all over his claws, knuckles, head growing into his eye. At this size, he'll probably be all right because they shed very frequently. But if they start to affect his mobility, if they start growing in places that he can't move, he actually won't be able to shed. They need to be able to move to shed. So it is possible that if these barnacles keep growing, this guy could get trapped inside of his shell.
Honor is all I have left.
They have this coming, so let's give it to them.
The knife's called Gracie, the axe is Carnage, and me? Haha, I'm your queen.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Initial flashpoint.
Sharpen yourselves for battle.
No time for whinging. Move out!
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
I'm claiming the objective. The enemy is taking the point.
What's up?
You can't hide.
You're all good.
Your feet, you dromos!
I'll find them.
Come on here! To the wasteland!
Willpower comes with
Meteor strike!
the enemy lives again.
Over there! Try using your head.
I can heal you.
Your concern touches me. You can't hide.
The point is vulnerable. Let us take it.
Let the kitsune guide you! وريهم قوتك!
Their forces
Next, flashpoint redux.
Someone needs to fill this saddle. Luck of the draw. I've got you in my sights. Bit early to dust off the boots.
Anna, online.
Meteor strike! Death ain't on my doorstep yet.
The point is vulnerable. Let us take it. Over here. I understand.
No time for whinging. Move out!
How you want
Flashpoint unlocks in 10
There's a test object.
We are outnumbered.
unlocked.
The enemy is taking the point.
it? Meteor strike!
of my soul. Let the dragon consume you!
Thank you. You have my thanks.
Got us outnumbered. Keep that in mind.
Not time to fold them yet.
Well, you want to whip it then.
Denver, Colorado, known as the Mile High City, is home to almost 2,500 restaurants. Located just 7 miles from the city center is Pantaleone's, opened in 1985 by Pete and his wife, Paulette.
I'm from an island in Greece. When I first got to the US, I was a chef in another place, but I wanted to buy a place of my own because my
60 miles from Cleveland is the rural farming community of Norwalk, Ohio. It's here where Joe Nagy, after losing his job in food sales, bought a livestock ranch and decided to open Mill Street Bistro.
How you guys doing? I was trained and worked for many old school chefs that were Europeans. Just hit it with that wine right there. And always visualized having that place of my own. Mon chéri, The word fine dining is obnoxious. Get a doily on his plate, please, if you can't back it up. Guys, verbiage, okay? Bruschetta, crostinis, you know what that is? Okay. But I know that I have what it takes to do it. This is their big moment at the bistro.
Joe is in denial. This is not a fine dining restaurant.
Who do you think you're talking to? This is the finest of the finest.
What he tells us every day is he is the best fucking restaurant from New York to LA.
I would put this restaurant up against anyone because the passion.
Really, we are mediocre at best.
What is that? It's kind of gross. I don't know.
Isn't that wonderful? The food here is exceptional. We didn't get this elk from UPS. It comes from our ranch. It's fresh, sustainable, and local. We really are from farm to fork. That's why our food is the best by far.
He's always playing up the quality of the food.
We made that sauce from scratch.
And I know most of our stuff is frozen.
There are corners that are cut. For example, the steaks come from a wholesale food club.
Looks good, looks good.
They turn brown, they start smelling. I'm like, I would not eat that.
Hey, Joe.
I'm eating right now?
I didn't know. You came out with it before.
Excuse me.
When I think about Joe, I think of an arrogant, selfish jerk.
Quit asking all these arbitrary questions to these customers. Get the ice, cool it down.
He talks down to people.
Is there enough bread for dinner right now, or do you want me to do that part of the thinking too?
It's always somebody else's fault.
It's your responsibility that the bread doesn't taste stale.
He makes it very unbearable to even be here.
The way you treat me is disrespectful, crude.
Then you need to find another place to work. I come to win. I didn't come to fuck up.
I don't think Joe can see past his ego.
I know that Tommy and me are handsome guys. Don't come back here and stare at us.
Joe doesn't realize his actions affect our livelihood.
What is this?
That one, the owner was very condescending. The owner was rude. Business is super slow, and the big reason people don't come in is because of Joe.
I've never had a piece of meat come back in here in 10 years.
He's the one who needs to change his way of thinking.
Don't come around starting blah, 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 blah.
Or we're not going to survive.
Is the Mill Street Bistro a kitchen nightmare? By no means. We're not a kitchen nightmare when it comes to cleanliness, functionality. Are we a kitchen nightmare because we have no asses in the seats? Yes. Yes.
Before Chef Ramsay visits Mill Street Bistro, Joe wants Gordon to check out his farm so he can show him firsthand the livestock that supplies the restaurant.
Joe, Chef Ramsay, how are you?
Good to see you.
Pleased to meet you.
What a gorgeous place.
Yeah, just a small little working ranch. Let me show you around.
Please. How long have you had the farm?
8 years.
How long have you had the restaurant?
5 years. I want Chef Ramsay to critique my restaurant and say, you got something, Joe. That's what I'm looking for.
Look at these beauties here. Gorgeous.
You're going to try all these animals at the restaurant. This is all the things I've learned in Europe and New York and the places I've worked in as a tableside culinary chef.
I've seen you work as a chef.
I am self-taught by old school Europeans. Master chefs that had a liking to me because of my passion. I was in the food distribution business.
As a salesman?
Salesman and a consultant for all the large distributors. Well, things changed, so I opened up a restaurant. But
and what type of restaurant is it?
I like to say fine dining.
Fine dining. And is the restaurant making money?
No.
Why?
Because we have to get more asses in the seats, and we have to get people to take us serious. I think some people are finding me pretentious.
Really?
They're finding me arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm a passion-loving person. Let's just kind of swing over here. The buffalo, they should be in the next several weeks having calves. This is my buddy here.
Your buddy?